שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני, שירו לאדוני, שירו לאדוני. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר
going to begin our service on page 5 as we sing Hine Ma Tov Umanayim, how good it is, how sweet it is that we can all be together.
Hine Ma Tov Umanayim, Sheme'achim Gam Yachad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Ma Tov Umanayim, Sheme'achim Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov Umanayim, Sheme'achim Gam Yachad. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum.
Shabbat Shalom. Tonight, as we do every year, we have a special prayer service book, so that it's easy to follow along as we go. But of course, that means you need to have a book. So I think if you don't have one, you can raise your hand, and there are some people who are passing them out, maybe? Warren, we have some people up front who don't have some. Just raise your hand, don't be shy. We might. Oh, and up here, we have some friends in the front. Warren, we have some friends in the front who. Wow. Okay. It looks full, but it doesn't look that full. Yeah. Still okay? Good? Okay. Well, tonight we welcome our members of Temple Beth-El. Of course, we welcome our friends from Antioch Missionary Baptist Church and all others who are with us here tonight, either here in the Wolf Sanctuary or in your own sacred space joining us on live stream. It is so good, as always, to be together again. And as always, much has occurred since we last met. Increases in anti-Semitic rhetoric and attacks, continued racial injustice everywhere. Yet together, as a beloved community, we continue to search for ways to do the work that still needs to be done. We know without a shadow of doubt that the experience of Egypt endures, and we are not free. And we know that we cannot wait one more minute to engage in substantive work for change. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. preached, we are now faced with the fact that tomorrow is today. We are confronted with the fierce urgency of now, and this unfolding conundrum of life and history. There is such a thing as being too late. Procrastination is still the thief of time. Life often leaves us standing bare, naked, and dejected with lost opportunity. The tide in the affairs of men does not remain at the flood. It ebbs. We may cry out desperately for time to pause in her passage, but time is deaf to every plea and rushes on. Over the bleached bones and jumbled residues of numerous civilizations are written the pathetic words, too late. There is an invisible book of life that faithfully records our vigilance or our neglect. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on. We still have a choice today, a chance to choose between chaos and community. Tonight, as we remind ourselves of the need to shake ourselves from complacency and we affirm our pursuit of justice for all, we gain strength from our Sabbath rest and uplift from Shabbos light. So join us on page 5 in your special Martin Luther King Shabbat prayer booklets. It's my pleasure to call on Temple Beth-El board member and former Social Action Chair Marcia Krasner to offer the reading before we light our Shabbos lights.
By our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Please join me on page 6 with Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho v'hava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim, ki vaynu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
L'chaim. On the bottom of page 6, we sing Lechu Neranana, Psalm 95, Let us sing unto God a new song.
Let us sing unto God a new song. Let us sing unto God a new song. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai.
On page 7, we are preparing ourselves to welcome the Sabbath bride, singing Lecha Dodi. We sing all of our verses, and when we get to the last one, Bo'vi v'Shalom, we rise as a congregation, as you would rise to greet a bride, and we turn to face the entrance of our sanctuary to metaphorically welcome that bride, making that Shabbos spirit feel real for all of us. So whether you're here with us in the sanctuary or joining us on live stream, we're so glad that your voice can be joined with all the other voices that are here, celebrating Shabbat and making it real tonight.
Hum diddy dum diddy lecha dodi, hum diddy dum diddy likakala, hum diddy dum diddy pene Shabbat nekavela. Hum diddy dum diddy lecha dodi, hum diddy dum diddy likakala, hum diddy dum diddy pene Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likakala.
Turn to those around you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom, welcome them, let them know how glad you are they're here. We're going to keep standing for a little while longer as we turn to page 8 for the Baruch Hu. On the bottom of page 8, we read the English of Ma'ariv Aravim, our prayer giving praise to God for the gift of creation. Together. Praise to you, eternal our God, sovereign of the universe. By your word do you the evening bring, with wisdom opening the gates, with understanding shifting time and season, and designing the stars in their heavenly pattern, all according to your will, creating day and night, rolling light into darkness and darkness into night, day passing and night entering, distinguishing day from night, eternal one of hosts, living and ever-present God, reign over us forever. Praise to you, eternal one, who makes the evening come to pass.
We are embraced by arms that find us,
Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Praise to you, Eternal One, who loves your people Israel with love.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. Please join me on the top of page 10. In English? In the English. Middle of page 10. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God.
Please join me at the reading of bottom page 10. I'll read the first section, and you all will read the next sections. We cannot merely pray to God to end war, for the world was made in such a way that we must find our own path of peace within ourselves and with our neighbor.
We cannot merely pray to God to root out prejudice, for we already have eyes with which to see the good in all people, if we would only use them rightly.
We cannot merely pray to God to end starvation, for we already have the resources with which to feed the entire world, if we would only use them wisely.
We cannot merely pray to God to end despair, for we already have the power to clear away slums and give hope, if we would only use our power justly.
We cannot merely pray to God to end disease, for we already have great minds with which to search out cures and healing, if we only use them constructively.
Therefore, we pray instead for strength, determination, and willpower, to do instead of merely pray, to become instead of merely to wish, that our world may be safe and that our lives may be blessed.
page 12.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkivenu, Leshalom. Ashkivenu, Amidenu, Shalmeinu Lechayim. Ufros Aleinu, Simchat Shlomecha. Ashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Ashkivenu, Shalom. Ashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Ashkivenu, Shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Lots of beautiful music tonight. Vishamru, the next piece of text that we sing together. It's there to remind us of the gift of Shabbat, not just to be together, but to take time to look within, to find the resources of our bodies, our spirits, and our minds so that we can be refreshed to make our worlds better, doing the work we need to do. Vishamru.
Reuvenei Israel et HaShabbat, Lasot et HaShabbat ledorotav, Berit Olam,
page 13, we rise for the tefillah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Our fathers and mothers prayed, each through their own experience of God, each through their own visions, which we have come to share.
Abraham, with the fervor of justice, pleaded the cause of cities. Sarah, in the pain of waiting, dared to hope for new life.
Isaac meditated alone in the field, lifted his eyes to find love. Rebekah asked for the ability to discern God's call.
Jacob climbed the rungs of his night into heaven, seeking destiny. Leah dreamed of love, and Rachel sought harmony.
We, as they, seek God's presence. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Blessed are you, Adonai, Sarah's helper, Abraham's shield. All life is interrelated. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny.
Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly.
As long as there is poverty in this world, no man can be totally rich. As long as diseases are rampant, no man or woman can be totally healthy.
Strangely enough, I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. You can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be.
This is the way the world is made. This is the interrelated structure of reality. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha salah. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Blessed is the eternal one, the holy God. Please be seated.
Holy One of blessing, grant us the will to stand firm in the face of evil and hostility, not to be silent or afraid, to work diligently and faithfully to banish wickedness from the earth.
Holy One of blessing, grant us the courage and resolve to speak when there is hatred, to act when there is confusion, to join with others in building a world of safety, understanding, and acceptance.
Because there is hate, dear God, help us heal our fractured and broken world.
Because there is fear, dear God, grant courage and faith to those in need.
Because there is pain, dear God, bring healing to the shattered and wounded.
Because there is hope, dear God, teach us to be a force for justice and kindness.
Because there is love, dear God, help us to be a beacon of light and compassion. As it is written, be strong and let your heart have courage. Joshua 1:6. Depart from evil, do good, seek peace, and pursue it. Psalms 34:15.
Prayers of hope for strength and peace and fortitude link us to prayers for healing for those in our families, those in our community, those in our world who face the future not fully whole. If there's someone in your life, someone you hold in your heart, someone on your mind in need of healing, I invite you to picture them now. Close your eyes if you wish. Whisper their names out loud. Strengthened by each other's presence, we link the prayers that in our hearts for those we love with all those in need, those listed in our order of service, those in our community we might not even know. Let our prayers bring them strength as we turn to page 15 and offer our prayer for healing.
Dear God of our ancestors,
Dear God of our ancestors,
help us renew our faith.
help us renew our faith.
body.
Restore our strength of body.
Help clarify our minds.
Help clarify our minds.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate our light.
Rejuvenate our light.
El Refana, Refana, El Refana, Refana, Please take a moment for your own silent meditation.
He always says, yes. Whatever crazy plan I come up with, Pastor Camp agrees and helps me make it so. 8 years ago, we started this Sabbath Exchange, and since that time, we've sat on panels together, created book discussions, movie screenings together. Now we've planned a trip to Washington, D.C. together. Y'all should come in June. It's going to be amazing. And we continue to see the blessings that are bestowed upon us by our friendship, our collaboration, and our mutual support. And not just between myself and Pastor Kemp, but between Antioch Missionary Baptist Church and Temple Beth-El. It's always a pleasure and an honor to have Pastor Dr. Kenneth R. Kemp on our bima. He is a gifted speaker, a talented musician, and a highly respected and accomplished pulmonologist, having had a long and significant career as a medical doctor in the U.S. Army, where he is a colonel in the Army Medical Corps. He has also played a vital role in our city's response to COVID-19. Reverend Kemp has been Antioch's senior pastor since 2009. Before that, he was ordained as a deacon in 1990 and into the gospel ministry in 1991 under the late pastor J.J. Rector Sr. Dr. Kemp has been married to Velma L. Willoughby Kemp for over 30 years. Is it 32 or 33 now? 37, all right. He's been married to Velma for almost 40 years. And they are the parents of two wonderful daughters, Reverend Jessica Kemp and Joelle Kemp Clay, who is a pharmacist, and now also grandparents to two beautiful little girls. They're almost a year old now, right? February 1st, they're gonna be a year. It's amazing. It's a blessing to have my friend, Pastor Kemp, here, along with his wife and his children in my life. I welcome him as my colleague and friend to share words of Torah and truth on this bima tonight. Welcome, Pastor Kemp.
Thank you, Rabbi Nathan. It is a blessing to be here today, and I almost didn't recognize the person she was introducing, but I appreciate that. We give honor to our God and to Rabbi Nathan, to all of you who are part of Temple Beth-El and Antioch. It is a tremendous honor to be here again during this recognition and celebration of the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend. The Lord has spared our lives and allowed us to come to this special moment once again, to a time that marks the 8th year of our collaboration as a Reformed Jewish congregation and a Christian Baptist church. I noticed when I walked in today that the pandemic has not kept us from coming together. What a blessing that is, that we are able still to gather. It is nothing short of amazing that people from such varied backgrounds and faith traditions can come together in this setting. And we have Rabbi Nathan to thank for the initial spark that created this blessed gathering 8 years ago. I don't know about you, but I'm glad about it. From our initial gathering to our sincere and deliberative review of the book Cast, to our coming together at Crystal Knock just a few months ago, I've come to know and love the people of Temple Beth-El, just as I love the people of Antioch. Having gotten to know one another, our fellowship has not just been limited to worship at Temple or at church. I've seen members of Temple Beth-El at shopping malls, at universities here in San Antonio, at board meetings, during seminars on Zoom, and of course, at Spurs basketball games. In these last 8 years, I have attended Miriam's bat mitzvah and watched Isaac and Solomon grow up. It has been a blessing, and it is clear evidence that the dream that Dr. King had some 60 years ago cannot be destroyed when people of goodwill come together, hold hands, break bread, and pray. Accordingly, the Lord has given me to share with you this evening this topic: why the dream cannot be destroyed. Why the dream cannot be destroyed. Look with me in the book of Genesis, chapter 37, verses 23 and 24, where the Holy Writ says, "And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty. There was no water in it." This passage highlights what happened when the dream of Joseph, the next to the youngest son of Israel, bothered his 11 brothers so much that they conspired to kill him. Recall that Joseph had a dream in which his brothers bowed down to him and paid obeisance to him. Joseph even had another dream when the sun and the moon bowed down and paid obeisance to him as well. As you might imagine, this angered his brothers, who did not in any way feel inferior to Joseph, and it caused his father to rebuke him. It did not help that Israel had given Joseph an exquisite coat of many colors. Because Joseph was the son of his old age, and he favored him above all others. Well, all of this caused not just a casual anger on the part of his brothers, but they became so angry that they could barely stand him. One day, when his father Israel sent him from Hebron to go check on his brothers while they kept their father's flock at Dothan, the sons of Israel saw Joseph coming from afar off, and they said, "Behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, and let us kill him, and cast him into some pit, and we shall see what shall become of his dreams." Y'all heard, have you heard that story? Some of y'all are looking at me like that's the first time you heard of that. Then they stripped him of his coat of many colors. They cast him into some pit with no water in it. Now they did all of this because somehow they figured they could destroy the dream if they could destroy the dreamer. Rabbi Stahl, I hope I'm telling the story correctly. I know you know it better than I do. Yes, they thought they could kill the dream by killing the dreamer. And yet I would have you to know, my brothers and my sisters, that the dream could not be destroyed. Even now, 160 years since the Emancipation Proclamation, and nearly 55 years since the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we have to consider why the dream cannot be destroyed. You know, don't you, that there have been many people over the years who tried to destroy the dream. Even the Supreme Court has tried to dismantle the dream by decimating the Voting Rights Act. The purveyors of hate, bigotry, misogyny, xenophobia, and homophobia have tried to nullify the dream. Hate has tried to sully the dream such that hatred appears to be normalized now. It's gotten so bad that more and more people including elected officials and celebrities, are overtly expressing hate. I remember back in the 70s and 80s when I was growing up, people would suppress hate. Never went away, they just suppressed it. But now, we are just overtly expressing it. Even now, we have people, elected officials and celebrities, spewing hate. Folks carrying the Confederate Jack and swastikas, while spewing racial epithets and anti-Semitism. Even now, the privileged look with disdain upon the poor, the immigrant, and the hurting. Yet, despite all of this, the dream lives on. Why is it that the dream cannot be destroyed? Well, I don't presume to know all the answers, but may I suggest to you a few reasons? I'm used to being in the Black Baptist church, and I like for people to talk back to me. You don't mind? I said, may I suggest to you a few reasons? First, the dream cannot be destroyed because the dream is larger than the dreamer. The brothers of Joseph thought that the dream was encompassed only in the life of the dreamer. However, God had established the dream way beyond the dreamer. He had already put in motion the people and processes to fulfill Joseph's dream. Now, surely there were those who thought that if they could slay Martin, they could also slay Martin's dream. But what they failed to recognize was that the dream was only expressed by Martin. In fact, the dream was bigger than Martin. You see, the dream that Martin eloquently expressed like no other on August 28, 1963, on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, had already been placed deep down in the hearts of oppressed people yearning to be free many years before. Deep down in their hearts, pulsating through their arteries and veins, permeating throughout their souls, oppressed people have yearned to be free despite slavery, segregation, Jim Crow, and Holocaust. And this enduring yearning, this longing will not long remain cast down, for God places within the bosom of his people a dream of freedom, of liberty and justice. Dr. King said it like this: it's a dream that's deeply rooted in the American dream. And that, my friends, cannot be destroyed. Can't you see that the dream cannot be destroyed? Because the dream is bigger than the dreamer. Secondly, let me suggest to you that the dream cannot be destroyed because the dream is not encompassed by outward covering. You see, before the brothers of Joseph cast him into the pit, they stripped him of his coat of many colors, which was his outward symbol of privilege. His father had given him this exorbitant, perhaps ostentatious gift as a symbol of Joseph's status as a favorite son. Yet his brothers stripped him of it and threw him in a pit, then left him for dead. Now, they could have thrown him in the pit with his coat on. But that was not enough for them. They had to strip him, devalue him, and degrade him so as to enforce upon him that he was nobody special. We learned in our study of the book Caste by Isabel Wilkerson that India did the same thing to the Dalits or the untouchables. America did the same thing to black people, and the Nazis did the same thing to the Jews. In order for the dominant caste to maintain its veneer of superiority, it has to strip those assumed to be oppressed of any vestige, any inkling, any sign of superiority, any sign of privilege. Yet I submit to you that no matter how much you strip from the outside, you cannot destroy that which God places on the inside. They thought that Joseph's power was connected to his outward gift that man gave him, which they then took from him. However, they did not know that his power was not connected with what some man gave him, but his power was what God gave him on the inside. As long as he was able to see and express a dream beyond current circumstances, his dream would never die. Thus, the dream that Dr. King expressed in 1963 is reflective of the dream that God placed inside his people. No matter how much human beings and societies try to strip away the outside, that which God places on the inside will never be destroyed. Hear me, and hear me well, my brother and my sister. You are more than what you have on the outside. You are greater than what others limit to the outside. You are stronger than what society has determined about you from the outside. May I drop this on you? If you're depending on what you got on the outside, you better rethink. You better rethink, because that stuff you got on the outside will go away. Listen, I'm going to be 60 years old on Dr. King's birthday. That's just a couple days away. And listen, I can't run as fast as I used to. I don't think I'm as handsome as I used to be, but that's all right, because my value is not what I have on the outside. It's what God placed on the inside. Now dig deep on the inside, way down deep to what the Creator has placed inside of you, and your dream will never die. Well, the dream cannot be destroyed because the dream is bigger than the dreamer, and it is not encompassed by outward covering. Not only that, the dream cannot be destroyed because the dream is empowered by dreamers who cannot be denied. Yes, they did indeed throw Joseph into a pit. Then after Reuben convinced them not to kill Joseph, Judah suggested that they should sell him into slavery. However, by the time Judah got back to the pit, Joseph was already gone. You see, the Midianite merchants, unbeknownst to the sons of Israel, drew Joseph out of the pit and sold him for 20 pieces of silver to Ishmaelite merchants, who then took him to Egypt and sold him to Potiphar, captain of the guard of Pharaoh. Now, it looked like Joseph was down for the count. He had been in the pit, got sold into Potiphar's house. And you know the story. Before long, Mrs. Potiphar lied on him, accused him of sexual assault. And Joseph found himself in prison. It looked like he was down for the count, but may I tell you, Joseph was a brother who could not be denied. Yeah, I don't have time to tell you the whole story, but suffice it to say that with the gift of his dream, Joseph went from the pit to Potiphar's house to prison, and from the prison to the palace, because he was a dreamer who would not be denied. Well, they killed Dr. King on April 4th, 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee. But this brother was a dreamer who could not be denied. Though he died in Memphis, his words live on in inspiration all over the world. Though he died in 1968, his prophetic analysis of America still shapes our thinking in 2023. Though he died as a martyr, he lives on as a model. I assure you that the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a dreamer who could not be denied. How about you? Have you any dreams that you will not allow circumstances and situations to deny? Have you any values that will lift the downtrodden to heights of liberty and justice? Have you any commitments that live larger than you? If you are a dreamer who cannot be denied, your dream will never be destroyed. Well, let me hurry on. I don't want to bother you. I know it's late on Friday night. I don't want to keep you too long. Well, the dream cannot be destroyed because it's bigger than the dreamer. It's not encompassed by outward covering, and it is empowered by dreamers who cannot be denied. Finally, the dream cannot be destroyed because it is endowed and endorsed by God. Joseph had a righteous dream that was indeed endowed and endorsed by the very hand of God. It seemed a little self-serving to his brothers and to his father. But God gave Joseph the dream. And surely as time went on, Joseph emerged as a ruler in Egypt, essentially serving as second in command because of his ability to dream dreams and interpret dreams. Moreover, when a famine came in the land and his brothers came to Egypt to buy corn without recognizing him at first, they did indeed bow down and give obeisance to him. After his brothers realized that he was that same boy that they had cast into a pit years before, they became afraid, especially after their father Israel died. Yet Joseph said to them, "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for my good." I declare this righteous struggle that we yet endure in America will ultimately accrue to our good, because our dream has been endorsed and endowed by God. Dream on, dreamer. There is coming a day when every valley shall be exalted. Every mountain and hill shall be made low. The crooked places will be made straight, and the rough places will be made plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. It's coming. And that day will come, and then we must say to all detractors, let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. Our dream cannot be denied.
Oh, don't sit down. Don't sit down. Please rise.
Judy,
Thanks for that. Thanks.
Judaism teaches us that it is not enough to say that we want change, but we have to stand up and act to make change and to make our dreams come true. Please join me in, I have a voice, what page is that on?
17.
I have a voice, page 17. I will open my eyes. I will not look away.
I will not look away.
I will use this gift I've been given every day. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. Change the world. I will give of myself.
I will give of myself.
I will reach out my hand.
I will reach out my hand.
I will use this heart I've been given to take a stand. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. Change the world. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Melech haolam she'asanu b'tzelem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Melech haolam she'asanu b'tzelem Elohim. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. Change the world. I will fight for the truth.
I will fight for the truth.
I'll stand up for what's right.
I'll stand up for what's right.
I will use this strength I've been given to be a light. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. Change the world.
On page 18, we continue with the concluding portion of our service. Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לאחד את שמו, וגוי עלינו להמליך מלכותו. אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים. הקדוש ברוך הוא. אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני
You may be seated. If any of you are around when I have to meet my day, I don't want a long funeral. Tell them not to talk too long. Tell them not to mention I have a Nobel Peace Prize. That isn't important. I'd like someone to mention that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to live his life serving others. I'd like somebody to mention that day that Martin tried to love somebody. I want you to be able to say that day that I did try to feed the hungry and to clothe those who are naked. I won't have any money to leave behind. I won't have the fine and luxurious things of life to leave behind. I just want to leave a committed life behind. We think of our loved ones, ones whose death has recently been taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. On this Shabbat, we note with sadness the death of Keith Diamond, husband of Barbara Diamond, father of Nanette and Nichelle Diamond, and grandfather of Catherine Bourgeois and Temple Beth-El member Emily Bourgeois. Funeral services will take place next week in Santa Maria, California, and we consecrate the yard sites of those in our congregation whose passings we observe this week. Bernard Aaron, Jean Aaron, Shuri Abrams, William Alterman, Arlene Arriaga, Stephen Arang, A. Melvin August, Morris Belden, Nancy Berkman, Cyril A. Brown, Lawrence Lee Brown Sr., C.E. Bird, Gerald Jerry Carduner, Ollie Hausman Cates, Malcolm Cohen, Frank Cook, Minnie Davis, Joseph Harry Eisenberg, Erna Epstein, Martin Epstein, Moises Isaac Feiner, Vera Sugarman Fine, Charles E. Forgutson, Aaron Forland, Sis Friedman, Daniel Garza, Rabbi Nelson Gluck, Alice Goldhaber, Ada Mae Good, Barry Gornick, Nancy Hall, Shirley Halprin, Benjamin F. Harris, Francis Herrick, Ellie Jackson, Joe Karotkin, Beatrice Klein, Evelyn Koenig, Selma Levy-Laser, Sydney Levine, Shirley Levinson, Henry Lieberman, Lillian Long, Anita Lowe, Hannah Levy Massacre, Lola Netter, Zelda Planto Novi, Jesse A. Oppenheimer, David L. Pincus, Miriam Pullman, Rose Rosenfield, Mary Joyce Rosenthal, Sadie Rosenthal, Michael Schwartz, Max Sherman, Ernest A. Simon, Lizette Temple, Cloney Thompson, Marianne Ungerleader, Philip Wallach, Haiti Weinstein, Marie Weiss, Elaine Pudd Westheimer, Jean White, Elizabeth Wiederman, Daniel Wright, Cecil Wolf, and Sari Zimmerman. To their names, we link the memories of those who have died in the past 30 days, their families observing a period of Shloshim. Dr. H. Norman Abramson, Mary Sivan, Rose Kamen, Jane Bankler, Shirley Hoffman, Dr. Hugh Wolf, Jeanette Reniteria, and Mark Rogo. To their memories, we link the name of one who died this past week. We remember Kathy Nye, cousin of Temple Beth-El member Jerry Gregory. Zichronam livracha, may all their memories be for blessing, along with the memories of those who we hold in our own hearts and remember each and every day. We rise together as one congregation, turning to page 19, as we share in the words of the mourner's Kaddish as one community. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'yizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudashah b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, as we say together. Amen. You may be seated. It's my pleasure to invite up the president of Temple Beth-El, Debbie Roos.
I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. I'm so glad that you could join us in our sanctuary or at home in your own sacred space. A special thanks to Pastor Kemp and the members of Antioch Missionary Baptist Church for being with us tonight. Thank you also to Marcia Krasner for lighting candles, and a final and most heartfelt thank you to the talented musicians of our Temple Beth-El band for enhancing our worship, and to the gifted choir members from Antioch Baptist Church and Temple Beth-El for leading us in song. Now, I'm a pretty courageous and risk-tolerant person, but I'm not so foolish as to try and follow Pastor Kemp. So I'm going to skip my comments tonight and go straight to our announcements. Yeah, it's not gonna go well. So here are some upcoming events at Temple. On Sunday, January 15th at 10 a.m., please join Temple Beth-El and Antioch Missionary Baptist Church for our interfaith worship, where Rabbi Nathan will speak and Kol Simcha will sing with the Antioch Choir. Service begins at 10 a.m. at Antioch Missionary Baptist Church at 1001 North Walters. If you would like to join Antioch members at their weekly church school, they will be discussing reparations at 8:30 a.m. Join Temple members in the San Antonio Jewish community at the annual MLK Day March on Monday, January 16th. The 2.5-mile march starts at 10 a.m. at the Martin Luther King Jr. Academy and ends at Pittman Sullivan Park on the city's historic east side. A bus will be leaving Temple Beth-El at 9 a.m. sharp. To register for Temple's bus, see the weekly Temple announcement email and the registration link. This October, Temple will be traveling to Krakow, Warsaw, and Berlin. Registration and full itinerary can be found on the Temple website. There will be an informational meeting on Zoom on Sunday, February 12th at 12 noon with Rabbi Don Gore from J2 Adventures, and a link to register for the meeting is also on our website. Registration to join our June 23rd to 26th trip to Washington, D.C. that Rabbi Nathan referred to with our friends from Antioch is now open as well. Details are in your service booklet and on our Temple website. Be in touch with Rabbi Nathan or Pastor Kemp for more information. Everything going on at Temple is on our website calendar or in our weekly email, which arrives in your inbox around 4 p.m. every Thursday. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Debbie. Our closing song, as it is every year, is We Shall Overcome. I invite you all to rise, as I also invite Pastor Kemp and Reverend Mignon Span to join us over here as well.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
You can hold hands, you can put your arms around each other. It would be nice. It would be nice.
We hold hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart,
Shabbat shalom.